नमस्कार दोस्तों, welcome to Saral Sociology. Let's see what is the meaning of social closure. The concept of social closure was developed by a prominent sociologist, Max Weber. Social closure refers to the processes through which certain groups or individuals seek to establish and maintain exclusive access to resources, opportunities, and social positions. It involves the creation of boundaries and mechanisms that limit access to particular social spaces or privileges. To understand this concept in a better way, let's consider an example. Imagine a prestigious private club that only allows individuals from a specific social class or background to become members. The club has established certain criteria such as wealth, education, and social connections to determine who is eligible for membership. By doing so, the club practices social closure by excluding individuals who do not meet these criteria from accessing the benefits, networks, and opportunities associated with club membership. Let's go through the various aspects of social closure. The very first is exclusivity. Social closure is characterized by the deliberate exclusion of certain individuals or groups from accessing resources, opportunities, or social positions. It establishes boundaries between those who are included and those who are excluded based on specific criteria or qualifications. Next aspect is control over resources. Social closure allows those who have established exclusive access to resources to control their distribution. This control over resources can be economic, such as job opportunities or wealth, social, such as social connections or status, or cultural, such as knowledge or education. Let's see two more aspects of social closure. Number one, creation of boundaries. Social closure involves the creation of boundaries between those who belong to a particular group or categories or those who do not. These boundaries can be formal, such as legal requirements or institutional regulations, or informal, such as social norms or cultural practices. Next is mechanism of exclusion. Various mechanisms are employed to enforce social closure and maintain exclusivity. These mechanisms include educational requirements, licensing or certification processes, social networks, kinship ties, and cultural capital. By controlling access to these mechanisms, individuals or groups can determine who can enter and benefit from specific domains. Next aspect of social closure is impact on inequality. Social closure can contribute to social inequality by reinforcing existing hierarchies and limiting opportunities for those who are excluded. It can perpetuate inequalities based on factors such as class, race, gender, or education, as those who have greater access to resources and positions of power can maintain their advantages and restrict entry for others. Next aspect is social group formation. Social closure often leads to the formation of social groups or communities that share common interests, values, or characteristics. These groups may develop a sense of identity, cohesion, and solidarity based on their exclusivity. Subsequently, they reinforce their position and interest within a particular social context. Let's see two more aspects of social closure. Number one, resistance and challenge. Social closure can be challenged by individuals or groups who are excluded or seek to expand access to resources and opportunities. Resistance can take the form of social movements, advocacy for policy changes, or the creation of alternative spaces that provide opportunities for those who are marginalized. Next aspect is legitimization and justification. Social closure is often legitimized and justified through various means such as cultural beliefs, norms, and ideologies. Dominant groups may argue that exclusivity and selectivity are necessary to maintain quality and to preserve traditions. These justifications can reinforce and somewhere perpetuate social inequalities. Before concluding, let's see two more aspects of social closure. Number one, networks and social capital. Social closure can also involve the formation of exclusive networks and the accumulation of social capital. By restricting access to certain social circles or professional networks, individuals or groups can enhance their social status, gain advantages, and consolidate their positions of power. Next and the last aspect of social closure is symbolic boundaries. Social closure is not only about tangible barriers but also about the creation of symbolic boundaries. These symbolic boundaries can involve shared values, beliefs, and cultural norms that serve to differentiate and distinguish one group from another. Finally, to conclude, Max Weber's concept of social closure provides insight into the dynamics of exclusion, inequality, and social stratification. Sociologists study social closure to understand how boundaries are created, maintained, and challenged, and how they shape social interactions, access to resources, and the reproduction of social inequalities.